Guys, my name is Tamia and today I'm back with another video. So today I wanted to make a story time on this creepy taxi driver. Now let me just tell you ahead that I have a lot of creepy story times on taxi drivers. So if you see creepy taxi drivers, just know it's another story time on one of something new that happened. Now, for anyone wondering, I don't take taxis anymore just because some of them are pretty creepy. So yeah, let's get into the story time. So this all started when I had like an agriculture project that I had to do for class. Now it was, I think, a Tuesday and I was getting ready to go to school. We didn't have any transportation for me to get to school because my brothers left and my uncle was not home. And my mom was with them and so I was at home with my aunt, I think, and my grandma, and I was like, I'm gonna go to school today with a taxi. So we called the taxi. My aunt called the taxi and she ordered it, and I was like, okay. We jump into the taxi. Everything's going fine. He's smooth, he's nice in front of my house and everything. He's not doing any funny business. And eventually, a few minutes into the taxi, he's like, so what's your name? And normally I don't really tell taxis my real name just because it gets kind of creepy from there, and you just don't go around telling everyone your name, like people you know that you're probably never gonna meet again. So I was like, I don't know what it was that day, but I just told him my real name, and I was like, my name's Tamia. And he was like, oh, Tamia, yeah, you were that girl in the newspaper, because I can make another story time on that. I did this type of thing where you had to spell, it's like a spelling bee, and then for that I was in the newspapers and all that. And he was like, aren't you that girl that was in the newspapers for the spelling bee, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, I read upon the story, I saw it, I looked it up and all of those stuff. And from there I'm just like, okay. And I'm just driving with him, just like, okay, this is getting creepy. That's nice that you looked it up, but the fact that you remember every little detail and you're telling me every little detail that you got from the newspapers and from online is starting to creep me out. So we're driving and I guess he's trying his best to flirt and do all of these things so that he can look like that man. And I'm at the back there, mind you, I was like 15, 14, I don't even remember my age. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, this is not gonna work, I'm not interested, I don't care about this, all I care about is getting to school. And this guy is flirting back and forth like, yeah, do you want to go out sometime? How old are you? Um, um, do you want to hang out? You should give me your number. No, I'm fast forwarding it. He's asking me all these questions about myself. And mind you, I'm not answering because my mom always taught me and my aunt always taught me not to talk to strangers. So I'm just telling him here and there stupid stuff that don't even make sense. And I guess as a way to scare him off, I told him I have two older brothers. And he was like, oh, okay. So we're driving, and we reach in front of my school now. My teacher is waiting there, and he rolls his windows up, and his windows are black and they're tinted. And he's like, okay, so you're leaving now. And I'm just like, yeah. And he's like, I don't know if this is too much to ask, but do you give your number out to people that you meet for the first time? And I was like, no, I don't. And he was like, why not? Why don't you want to give your number out? We could hang out. We could do so many cool stuff. And I was just looking at him like, dude, I don't know you and you don't know me. I don't care what you read about me on the internet, but no. So eventually I get out of the car and I'm just leaving and he's like, yeah. And then he says, bye, and just being extra. And I was not having it. So I get in there, my teacher's sitting there, and she's like, oh, okay, you came with a taxi. She doesn't know what happens. I don't explain because I don't see the need to explain anything. Later on in the night, I come home and I explain it to my aunt and my grandma, and I'm just like, this is what happened, and they're just looking at me like, okay. Because, nothing absurd happened. I just found it very annoying that he was harassing me and asking me for my number and stuff, and I didn't want to give it. Just say, okay, you accept it, move on. Okay, later on at night, my brother calls for a taxi. Guess who shows up? And guess who called for the taxi? I called for the taxi. So he heard the female voice and he talked because sometimes they answer the cabs themselves, like the people that are calling. So he was there alone at the taxi place, and because he stated that, that's how I knew. And then, but I didn't know it was him because people sometimes sound different over the phone and when you see them in real life. So I answered and I was like, yeah, I can have a taxi, blah, 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 at where I'm staying, my address. And he's like, yeah, come, blah, blah, blah. So he comes because he thinks that he's probably picking me up again. So he was probably going to ask me, like, this is the second time. Can I have your number again? Mind you, my brother's going out and I'm looking at the window. And as I'm looking out the window, it's like there's always bad luck because every time I look out the window, someone catches me. And I look out the window and he stares straight back in and he sends me a smirk and he's just like, I guess he thought that it was me going with him, so he's like smirking along the way. And then when he sees my brother steps outside, like the whole smirk wipes off and he's just like serious. And I go outside and I'm just like, bye, Jason. And he's sitting there in the car, like so serious, like he doesn't know who I am. And I'm just sitting there like, what did you have planned if I was going to go into the car with you? What did you think was going to go down? I don't understand. And that was a night now. So I don't know what you had planned. I don't know what you thought was going to happen. But whatever you thought was going to happen was not going to happen. Anyhow, guys, if you like this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I try to upload every Saturday. It would mean so much if when you watch this video, you could subscribe. Bye, guys.